For years, Texas Republicans have looked the other way as Paxton's legal troubles have piled up. Help us understand, in your estimation, what has changed?
Well, Lisa, I think that what has changed is we've seen just an abundance of misdeeds here. Now, it's important to note that I'm going to be a jurist in the Senate, and so I have to be very impartial as I look at the evidence. But what we cannot turn away from is that he is currently under indictment out of Collin County. That indictment began sometime in 2015. As you suggested earlier, he is under investigation from the FBI for some of the things that arose in this impeachment. The evidence that the House has seen and presented was substantial enough for them to start this process into the issues that you just discussed. I think that as that committee saw that evidence, they felt that there was enough matter-of-fact evidence that could not be refuted to go forward. And I think that at some point for Republicans, because they're in charge in the House as well as the Senate, at some point you get to a place where there's just a compounding effect. And I think that that's what we have here with Paxton.
Understanding, of course, Senator, that you have to be careful, so you will tell me where those lines are. The fact that you had a Republican at the podium talking about the fact that you had Paxton phone banking members of his own party, saying there would be consequences if they were to vote for impeachment, sort of begins to paint the picture of who it is and what it is we're talking about here.
Yeah, listen, I mean, if that actually happened, again, yet another example of an abuse of power. I will remain as unbiased as I can as I go forward into this process. But, the evidence that we heard today in that process, much of which was documented evidence, much of which was evidence of witnesses that came forth that, by the way, were Republican, staffers of his, handpicked staffers of his. This is not somebody that is being attacked by Democrats. He's being attacked by his own employees, and his own employees are saying that they're alleging that these misdeeds were out there, that there was some bribery, that there was an instance where, there's a potentiality for this developer having remodeled portions of his house. $100,000 kickbacks were talked about. And so we're going to see what the truth is behind those allegations. And I look forward to getting to that, to getting to the bottom of things.